weekend. I mean, if you love broomball, this is the place to be. Every single game is high tempo. All the athletes are so good. Yeah, feel spoiled to be able to watch all this and be involved in it. It's great. All right. USA has sorted out their issues, and we'll see if they can come out barnstorming in the second half. They're going to need some sustained pressure. Courtwright and Tony Sikic on D. Walby, Eccles, and Broughton. Walby has shifted to the center spot, maybe just for the draw. Eccles maybe doesn't want to be in there in the draw circle. We'll see. Lacombe for Canada with Boucher to his right. Dufresne and Hoffala behind him. Courtwright. Sikic to Broughton. Broughton in some space. Broughton pumps that up but not out. Dufresne easily swats that down. Nice play by Sikic to break up any pass. That ball skitters through the crease dangerously. Eccles sends that ball up. Here's Walby trying to turn the corner and does. Walby tries to cut to the middle. Walby tries to find Broughton. Does. Walby working hard. This is Courtwright. Courtwright to Broughton. Broughton mishandles it a little bit. Bounces away. Now he's taken down and there's a penalty coming. And the U.S. will go on the power play on a sort of ticky-tack tripping call. It's not a bad call. It's just, even the guy holding his head just knows it was dumb luck. He reached for the ball as Walby was coming around the corner, hauled him down, and it gives the Americans some life to start things off. Lacombe will sit for 2 minutes. He's one of their critical penalty killers typically, but they'll roll out 4 all-stars here in Dufresne, Keeley, Ponsack, and Weideman. And flipped up but not out. Courtwright will take over. Courtwright will touch it to Jaunty. Jaunty to Courtwright. Courtwright to Jaunty. Touched over. That's Hansen. Now this is Lee. He kicks it back to Jaunty. Jaunty. There's a wrister, bounced in, defended well by Weideman, and shot into the Canadian bench. 1:33 in the penalty. The U.S. really needs a goal here. Courtwright to Jaunty. Jaunty to Lee. 1:14 in the penalty. Courtwright loads, doesn't fire. Jaunty to Courtwright. Courtwright will drive that one. Maybe would have beaten the goaltender had it been on frame. Just a hair wide, kept it low though. Here's another one from Courtwright to Hansen. Hansen to Courtwright. Courtwright a skip pass. There's a nice shot from Lee. Blocked aside by Weideman. Pinched off of the wall. Can Lee get there? He's hustling hard. Chipped back by Jaunty to Lee. Lee wanders. Sets up Jaunty. 45 seconds. Courtwright to Jaunty. Jaunty to Lee. Shaky pass, but Jaunty handles it. Here's Courtwright. Hansen. Hansen skip pass to Jaunty. Here's Courtwright with a bomb up off the glass. Not out. Touched in. There's a ball. Batted by Zach Lee. They're working hard. Bear tries to sneak that around. Gets it to Jaunty. 21 seconds of the penalty. Jaunty fakes the shot. Sets up Lee. Lee kick passes it back to Jaunty. Jaunty wheels. Back to Lee. Back to Jaunty. To Courtwright. Touch pass down to Bear. Bear can't unload. 8 seconds. 7 and 6. Jaunty Fakes a shot. Here's Lee. Tries to chip that in. Weideman will clear. The guy's almost out of the box, and he goes to the bench. Keeley's on. U.S. holds the zone. This is down to Bear. Bear steps to the middle, wanting to shoot. Manages to tag it up into the netting. Wants another look at that one. 14:58 remaining in the game. The U.S. has a power play attempt that they don't score on. And now they've got their work cut out for them. Down 2 with under 15 to play. Everybody locked in and working hard. Some pressure here. The forecheck is on. Keeley spins away from the pressure. Broughton, he blows the tire. Broughton wasn't close enough to pounce. Saucered up, might not leave the zone, but does. Here's Sikic. Tony's got Walby on the far side, can't quite find him with the angle, so he sends it up to Broughton. Broughton on a little chip pass to Houchin. Houchin trying to get Dufresne, can't quite do it. Broughton bats it low. Hoffala floats it up and over. Here's Sikic. Sikic controls that. Sikic touches it to Eccles. U.S. is onside. Simon crashing the net hard. Here's the drive from Sikic high up into the netting, and he shakes his head. 14-11. Hoffala. Corey Swanson. That's chipped up, and here's Longchamp digging as hard as he can. Dufresne gets to the ball first, sends it back to Sauvé. Sauvé. Now he spills the pass. That goes out front. No American there to smash that thing home. Hansen. That's batted out by the Canadians. Jaunty sends that back to Swanson. Swanson to Jaunty. 13-34. Touched up, here's Longchamp. Longchamp just chips it in. Killeen moving through space. Boy, moves well for a big, tall guy. Courtright, another big, tall guy, snuffs it out. Here's Kyle Johnson, touches it to Courtright. Courtright gains the zone. Just walks away from pressure, gets hauled down, no call there. Probably shouldn't be, just two physical athletes getting close to each other, getting to know each other. There's the ball chipped up. Sikic starting to bark a little at the refs here. Courtright. Courtright down to Lee. Lee to Johnson. Johnson's going to try to find Bear. That ball's pounded in on the goalie. Sauvé holds because Bear was breathing down his neck. The U.S. is going to need a good bounce here, something bouncy off of the goalie. Somebody crashing hard. Johnson and Bear can combine on that. Sikic asking people to be vocal, talk to each other. Lee in the draw circle. I can't see the number on the player he's up against. It might be Weideman. Might be Jordan Weideman. It is. Tipped back, won by Weideman, and Jeremiah Weideman floats that out, but to Sikic, and Sikic tries to tap that to Charlie Bear. Can't quite get there. Bear's down hard, trying to maintain possession for the U.S. Sikic feeling pressure, falls to Bear. Bear tries to cut to the middle, can't quite do it. Canada resets. Here's Weideman. Jordan Weideman with a shot, bouncing well wide, but Corey swats it aside just to make sure of it all. Thiel knocks that thing down. Courtright battling hard. He and Tori Langille having a little wrestling match down there. And there's a whistle. Hand pass. The call is a hand pass. I was too busy watching the leg wrestling to notice the hand pass. 11:51. USA, can they come back? They're going to probably need a goal sometime before the 7-minute mark to really feel like they've got a puncher's chance to tie this thing. It's got to come soon. Pinched by Houchin. Sent in, here's Boucher in some space. He'll hammer one, but it doesn't go too well, and Jaunty takes over. This is Jaunty just walking forward, walking forward, walking forward. He answers with Broughton. Broughton tries to tap it back to him, and now it's numbers for Canada. Houchin's there. Tipped away, Broughton takes over. Good back check. Great play by Houchin. Eccles finding Houchin on the wall. Houchin wheels. Tries to send it back to Jaunty, but he's knocked off the ball by Keeley, and here's Joe Keeley. Tries to find his brother. There's Ben in front of Swanson. Swanson sends it out. Longchamp clears it to Jaunty, and Jaunty can go. Jaunty's got wheels and a lot of ice in front of him. Max digging for the backside. Blake touches it to Hansen. Court right across. 10:40. Longchamp tries to center that to Jacobs. Weideman clears it into the ceiling, and we'll have a face-off low. (12-11) shots in favor of Canada. 2-0, of course, the score. Centered there. Canada trying to clear, and they're in a run. Langeal flies down and gets the ball, tries to chip it. Longchamp will be the first one there, and he'll whip it around Langeal and control for the Americans. 10-10 remain in the game. USA needs to score twice to force an overtime. That ball's flipped up. Zach Lee tries to find Bear. That's batted forward. Americans reset. Pass was a little bit behind Kyle Johnson as he crashed. Here's Boucher. Boucher wanders in and takes a shot wide. Zach leads the first one there. Touches it to Swanson. Swanson has Jaunty. Tries to beat Boucher. Houchin digging as hard as he possibly can. Jaunty ends up with it, and Jaunty will walk forward. Here's Eccles. Eccles saucers it to Jaunty. Jaunty touches it to Walby so he doesn't have to break stride. Back to Jaunty. Jaunty spins away from the pressure. Jaunty dances, pirouettes at center ice. Jaunty taps that to Eccles. Eccles takes the hammer off. It's blocked. Scott Wall down the side. Swanson around quickly. That'll go to Walby. To Courtright. And Courtright resets. Under 9 minutes, 8:20 to play. Down 2. Here's Longchamp to Hansen. Hansen in some space. Can Hansen keep it on his broom? Weideman wipes him out. Weideman is everywhere. Ponsack. Langeal on a deep ball that should go for icing, and does. We'll reset. Americans down there in the zone, down 2, under 8. Be interesting how much time remaining when they think about getting Swanson out of the net, probably around the 4.5 or 5 minute mark if they're going to score 2. What a beautiful pass. This is Langeal in space. He has a teammate crashing. That's chipped up and over the net. Net goes out. Nearly kills the other Canadian guy with it, but everybody seems like they're okay. And we'll have to reset the frame. Yeehaw. I'm looking over at Luke to see if that ever happens in his pickup games. He's shaking his head.
Maybe next Tuesday.
Maybe. Zach Lee in the draw circle. Won by the Canadians. Hoffala just chips it out. Try on a back check. Jaunty will be the first one there. He steps around the pressure. Great play by Jaunty. Zach Lee digging as hard as he can. Trying to come up with the ball. Ball swats back to Sauvé, the goaltender. He doesn't want to handle it. He's trying to figure out a way to get rid of it. The U.S. giving everything they got to try to claw their way back into this. Hoffala sends that down. Try. Forward to Jaunty. Jaunty sends it to Bear, and Bear's in space. It's a 3-2. Bear tries to chip it into Walby. Walby crashes, but the D is there. Keeley's enough for it. Pretty good opportunity for the U.S. there. This is Joe Keeley. He wants to send a long ball up. Is it over Jaunty? Yes, and it falls to Zach Keeley. Zach will just wander the corner, up 2 goals. No need to risk anything. Ball possession's great for them. Here's Joe Keeley. Just sends it low. He'll get a change. Under 7 minutes, U.S. has to score twice. Canada content to just salt this away, get it deep, and make line changes. There's the U.S. Good bounce for them, but it doesn't quite go their way, and that'll saucer down for icing. Some communication going on here for the U.S. team, trying to figure out what they want to do. Walby into the draw circle, Broughton and Eccles with him. Courtright and Sikic. Swanson trying to get the attention of the bench, wanting to know when he should come. .6:23. That ball's sent out. Lynn Whalen, goalie for the U.S. mixed team, will toss it back in. Courtright. Courtright chops that low. Nice pass across to Broughton. Walby couldn't quite turn the corner, had an angle that was tough. And that's turned over. There's a shot drilled in by Eccles. Sauvé makes the save. Broughton touches it to Walby. Walby trying to fight to get free. He's smothered out of the play. Here comes Dufresne. It's with speed into the zone. He sends it over. Archambault. Archambault hits one high into the netting. .545 remain. Now we're going to see when Swanson might come out. Longchamp, Jacobs, Hansen, Try, Jaunty for the U.S. Killeen, Keeley, and Scott Wall for the Canadians. U.S. has pressure down low. Canadians trying to break out. Jaunty pinches. Ben Keeley, Scott Wall, all fighting for it there. Joe Keeley just sends that out. This kid's on a run though. Killeen trying to make Hansen earn it. Swanson gets it. There's Jacobs. Jacobs might be able to get to that ball. Ponsak's there first. That ball's ripped around. Falls to Weideman, and Weideman will flip Hansen. He'll dig around the corner. Weideman turns the corner. Hansen defends him. Hansen fighting as hard as he can to get the ball back, and here's Longchamp, picks it off, coming around the corner. Here's Longchamp in space. He's got Courtright. Tries to flip it past, and he can't. Langeal is up to it, and they try to slide outside, and he is good. 4:30. Clock just ticking away. Now they got to think about getting Swanson off. There it is. Can they get Swanson to go to the bench? Kyle Johnson's on. Always a threat to score. Swanson trying to get the attention of the bench. Bear is on, and here comes Swanson. 4 minutes, 4:06 remaining, and the net is empty. U.S. has to score twice. Bear casually running the point, wants to reset it with Courtright. Bear wants to get on the left-hand side and get that big forehand hammer ready to go. Johnson the same. There's one from Courtright, falls to Kyle. Kyle taps it across to Tony. Tony back to Courtright. There's Kyle with a drive just wide. What a bomb. Zach Lee to Tony. Here's Kyle with another one just over the bar. Great looks from Johnson. Here's Lee. Sikic to Courtright with a drive. Couldn't get tipped by Walby. Walby takes it around back, fights for it. Lee has it. Lee's got Sikic up top, touches it to him. He attacks, probes, sends it back to Lee. Lee doesn't have anything, back to Sikic. Need 2 goals here. There's a shot. Bounced out, swatted in. Begging for a hand pass, no call. Dufresne takes over. Can he clear it? The pressure's hard from the Americans, and they're scrapping for it. Johnson's in there trying to win it. Bear's in there. It's a bloodbath in the corner, and it skips out the American way. Here's Courtright. Courtright with a drive, just wide. Bear fights for it, maintains possession. 2:57 remain in the game. Net is empty. Here's a skip pass. Lee. Sikic sends it in on the goaltender, just wide. Bodies flying everywhere. And it's cleared. Courtright running after it. It will go for icing. There it is. 2:40 remaining in the game. U.S. putting up a fight. Need 2 goals with 2:40 left. Chances by Johnson just over the bar twice. .240 to go. Canada leading, pivotal game 5. It'll be Joe Keeley and Zach Lee. Well, we have a timeout by the United States. Well, the crowd is filled in really nicely here. People on the edge of their seats. One game to go after this. The U.S. women versus the Canadian women's team. Also, pivotal game 5. And that will put the Super Series to bed one way or the other. But before then, we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds of absolutely bombing broomball to play here. A desperate U.S. team trying to claw back. They need to score twice. And the Wunderkind, Pete Sikic, is nowhere to be found. So what can they make? Charlie Bear, Blake Hansen, Jager Eccles, Zach Lee, Tony Sikic, and Cam Courtright. Won by the Americans, and Sikic takes over. Sikic to Courtright. Courtright to Hansen. Hansen to Courtright. Courtright to Sikic. Sikic to Lee. Lee sends it over. Courtright now. Hansen. Eccles. Eccles gets bashed by. Kept in. Charlie Bear sends that over to Hansen. This is Sikic. 2 minutes remaining. Courtright with a drive, bouncing ball. Eccles can't get a one-timer on it. Tries to flare that in front. It doesn't work. Here's Hansen. Hansen to Courtright. Courtright to Hansen. Down to Eccles. Eccles sends that right through the crease. Nobody home to tap it in. Lee on a skip pass to Courtright. Courtright can't get it off, but Hansen can, and it's in! And with 1:36, Hansen scores on a wrister, and the U.S. has a heartbeat. It's 2-1 with 1:36 to go. A wrister to the far post by Blake Hansen gives the U.S. a chance, a puncher's chance. Conversation to be had here between the benches. I think maybe the Canadian team took a timeout. Kevin Keeley wants to talk to his troops. He's got a well-coached team there. Certainly tip my cap to the discipline that squad shows. Keeley has his men well prepared. U.S. led by Jonathan Jaunty. He's talking it over with his team right now. Serves almost as a player coach. Minute 36 to go. They got to score in 96 seconds to keep this thing going. Big goal from Blake Hansen. Big players in big moments. Who's it going to be? Will Canada salt it away? Will the U.S. come barnstorming back? Charlie Bear in the draw circle. Battles for it. And it's tipped on, won by Canada, and they'll go. Begging for a check, no call, referee arms stay down. Hansen flips it, this is Eccles. Saucered off of Eccles and out. It'll have a face-off outside the zone. Weideman tries to clear that, clears it right off of Eccles' shoulder. Need a draw win here out of Bear. He tries to bat it forward. Keeley takes it. And that's Swanson just tucking it around for Sikic. Sikic moving forward. Swanson moving forward. Gets into Eccles, and he's able to knock it low, which gets Swanson off with a minute to go. That ball's batted around. Fighting hard. Bear trying to come up with possession. Held against the wall. They'll try to kill the whole minute down there, and there they get a face-off draw, which they're comfortable with. They've been winning the draws. 53.3 seconds. We will have a face-off. 6-on-5. The goaltender is off. Eccles in the draw circle, wins it cleanly for the Americans. Can Sikic get there though? He does. Bear's got it. Bear facing some pressure, sends it in. 43 seconds. Canada getting hyped because they're close. 7 seconds. Blake spins. 12. Crashes. It's Charlie Bear on Weideman. Weideman trying to turn the corner. Can the U.S. get the ball back? Hansen and Lee fight for it. This is Eccles. Eccles with 20 seconds. We need shots. Courtright's got to hammer it. There's Blake. Blake sends a wrister in, bouncing in on Sauve, and he freezes. Charlie Bear got dumped in front. Sauve had to make the save, and he does. 15.2 seconds remain. That's won by Canada. Pinned in against the wall. Ben Keeley fighting for it. Can the U.S. squirt the ball out? 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5. Tipped away, and that's going to go Canada's way, and they win 3-2 over the Americans.
Grant is off to do the award ceremony. Congrats to Canada. Both teams played really well, though. The women's Game 5 is coming up right after this, so don't go anywhere.
Who wrote that? All right, we're ready to go. Well, it all comes down to this. Game 5 of the final matchup in the Super Series. Canada has secured the Super Series victory for 2025, having beaten the Americans 3-2 in men's and 3-1 in mixed. But there's a lot of pride to be had for the women to capture the title for their own. They will come out guns a-blazing to try to represent the U.S. well. Plesha will take the draw to get us started. She faces off against Vandenhoeven for the Canadians. I swear all of these rosters are running into one long roster for me at this point. So if I pause between names, it's only because I'm thinking about number 12 for the men or number 30 for the, it's a lot. Here's MJ takes a shot there. She's been a hassle for the Americans this whole tournament. Taylor Myers tries to walk up the wall, can't do it. Stetch takes over. Bazicki with a nice pass to Plesha. Plesha gains the zone. She's got Carly crashing and Taylor on the weak side. Sends that in, but it's blocked aside. Here's Carly. Langevin has it. Langevin to Myers. Myers sends it out front. Plesha has a chance. That'll get knocked up and not out. Betker tries to send it low. She's knocked off the ball. Here's Cousineau in space, dangling and dancing her way through. Stetch with her. Stride for stride. She walks. Touched away. Here's Plesha. Plesha taps it to Stetch, but it's just outside of her reach. And Eberhard takes over for the U.S. Eberhard tries to send that forward, but it's kept in. Morgan Betker to Cheng. Been a long weekend. Everybody's legs are a little tired. Cheng drives forward. Cheng tries to send the pass through. Doesn't quite work. Now she goes forward. Eberhard might be able to get there. Instead, it's Conway to Marquis. Cheng bounces her off. There's Eberhard with a chance in front. She flips it up. The goalie makes a save. Batted on again. Bretzman had a look. Dawson and Bazicki have taken over at D. Here's Bazicki. She wanders in. She'll hit a hammer in there. McDonald will be the first one there, and good start for the Americans. 15:47 in the first half of Game 5. 2-2, of course. Been a tight, close battle between two evenly matched teams. And they blow the whistle dead, or blow the game dead on a whistle because of a frozen ball there against the sidewall. If I start to stutter and mumble in this game, it's only because I've been doing this pretty much constantly for 24 hours. So bear with me as I get through the final game. This is Gustafson for the Americans. She wins the draw to Stetch. Stetch wants to hammer one. Well defended. She took a long time to draw that shot up, and it gave the Canadians a chance to set the D. She looks again. Now she cuts to the net. Gustafson wanders away from pressure, asking for another defender up high, so Bazicki saunters that direction. This is Ellen. Ellen touches it to Bazicki. Bazicki with a drive, tipped in front. Here's Madison. Madison's got Ellen. Ellen's got a chance to hit a hammer and does. That ball's off the crossbar. Fought for by the Americans. Ellen dives to the wall. Canadian taken down in a scramble. No call, no penalty. Here's Stetch. Good chance for the U.S. That ball's hit wide intentionally for Madison to deal with. She's bodied out of the play by a Canadian. Marquette has it. She's facing pressure from Rochelle. Rochelle trying to breathe down her jersey. She wanders away from the pressure. Touched up, Gustafson takes over. Gustafson gets her pocket pick, but it falls to Stetch. Now Plesha. Plesha wanders, tries to send the pass through and manages to get it. Nearly could have been a breakaway the other way, but the ball bounces favorably for the U.S. Betker down to Langevin. Langevin's the first one there. Dropped her brew momentarily, picks it up and keeps on. Canada looking to clear. Bold Duke sends it around to Marquette. Marquette with some pressure, and Plesha's there. Plesha chops it low. Eberhard with a nice couple of shifts to start the game. I'm sorry, that's Langevin. I thought, there's a shot in! Morgan crashes! Betker out of nowhere! Hammers the one-timer from Taylor Myers, and the U.S. leads 1-0. Absolutely out of nowhere, Betker crashes from the D spot to give the United States the lead. Beautiful pass from Taylor Myers and an absolute smash 5-hole by Morgan Betker to put her on the board this weekend. And the U.S. has life early in the game. 13:46 in the first half. Betker from Myers. Dawson sends that in. Dawson takes over, sends it over to Cheng. Flip deep. Cheng wanders. Tries to get it out, doesn't. Cheng battles on the wall. Tries to hack it up to Bretzman, but the Canadians take over. Flipped low. This is MJ Vandelaar. Vandelaar has been just an absolute beast all weekend. Couture with the drive. Well wide, tries to chop that in front. Dawson clears. That is a funny sight to see, little Shalana Dawson against big number 18, but it goes in Dawson's favor. Small but mighty. And the U.S. clears and is able to get a change. Couture takes over. 12:40. Marquis. Stetch will pick it, but has to reset because it did leave the zone and they do call it offside. I guess she dragged the ball back over. Bazicki. Bazicki wanders low. This is Ellen Rochelle trying to send a wrister through. Nicely defended there. Gustafson tries to chop that in. Oh, Ostad nearly has a chance to turn and roof that over the shoulder of the goalie. And there's Gustafson trying to put it in. Comes out the other way. Here's Cousineau, who has good speed. Just tries to clear it past Stetch and does. Ellen will run that down, and it may go for icing and does. Under 12 in the first half. The U.S. leads 1-0 on a great play from Myers and a crashing Morgan Betker. Stetch drives it. This is Bazicki. Bazicki to Myers. She's already got one apple in the game, and now she cuts to the middle. That's touched away, but not out. Here's Stetch. Stetch walks forward. Stetch fakes the shot. Sends the broom in. Plesha trying to turn. She can't hook it up on frame. Langevin will be there. Langevin taps that over to Betker. Betker sends that low. Here's Carly. Carly sends it low to Plesha. Jamie Plesha. Plesha to Myers. sent in, held by the goaltender. Soft wrister on frame, never hurts. U.S. will get a change. Battle for the faceoff. It eventually goes the American way. Eberhard to Betker. Betker with a drive. That's chopped out. Here comes MJ Vandelaar. She sends it forward. Battled hard. Canadians have it behind the net. Pursued by Eberhard. Just no quarter given by this American team. There's a delayed penalty coming. The U.S. is going to once again go on the penalty kill. It's been the story of the tournament. The U.S. teams can't stay out of the box. Both the men's and the both the men's and the women's team have spent a considerable time killing penalties. That's driven in behind the net. Vandelaar. Defending hard, there's a goal. Vandelaar scores again from that spot. That is her place on the ice. Ties the game 1-1 on the delayed penalty. U.S. has to bounce back. 9:40 and it's 1-1. Great shot from Vandelaar. Definitely making a case for herself as tournament MVP. 9:40 remaining in the first half. Gustafson wins the draw. Here's Stetch. Stetch has just Couture in front of her. She'll take a hammer shot off the glass. Nobody backdoor. Bazicki. Bazicki will lace one in. That's off the bar. And tapped in. Answered immediately by the U.S. Bazicki with a long-range shot. Goes off the post. Bounces out favorably. And Rochelle hits it in. Ellen Rochelle from Julie Bazicki at 9:21, 19 seconds after the goal from the Canadians. My heart is going to explode. Draw one cleanly by the Americans. This is Betker trying to snap one to Taylor. Taylor trying to touch it past Marquette. Pinched off. Morgan physical in there trying to win the ball, and that falls to Plesha. Plesha tries to bat it up towards Langevin, and it goes her way, and she can maybe wheel. She gets past her. She's tripped. That's got to be a call. No call. That looked like a clear trip there. 8:48. Marquette wanders and then dumps the ball back. Alex Wilson has it. Ball bounced up. Reset by the Americans. This will come to Dawson on the wall. She'll bash it right away back in and down to the zone. Allow for a change. And they do call an icing on it. She shakes her head, but the coaches praise her, saying not a bad play. 2-1, U.S. leads, 8:18 in the first. Marquis with a drive, bounces off a U.S. defender. Here's Vandelaar. I would guard her. McDonald. Support from one of her teammates. Vandelar runs low. That ball's touched out in front. Problems. Batted aside, but not out. Driven in. Bouncing ball. Bazicki will be the first one there. Bazicki has it. She just tries to send it out of the zone. Can't quite do it. Patty Scarrow gobbles it up and sends it over to Marquis. Well defended. The Americans try to clear. Can't do it. Now they can. Follow-up effort by Bretzman. Couture just sends it back to her goaltender. The U.S. is going to change some personnel. They're trying to change a lot. They do manage to get the troops out there in time because Canada also in a switch. Stetch and Betker, they overlap because Stetch wants to get off the ice. Stetch is off. Chang is on. There's the turnover that the zone defense they're running is made to make. Gustafson. Betker battles hard, tries to keep the ball. This falls to Chang. Chang just launches it down into the zone. Everybody standing, nearly everybody standing on the USA women's bench. You can just tell they're vibrating with energy. Marquette sends that to Cousineau. Cousineau bats it low. Could go for icing, and does. 6:09 remaining here in the first half, and what a half it's been. The U.S. scores at 13:48. Betker from Myers. Canada answers at the 9:40 mark with a bomb from MJ Vandelar. And then 19 seconds later, Ellen Rochelle says, "No, thank you very much," and puts the U.S. back up a goal. Plesha into the draw circle here against, I can't quite see from my angle who it was, but Canada controls. That'll fall back to Dawson. Dawson swats that to Stetch. Stetch with a nice pass to Plesha. Plesha tries to walk. Stetch to Dawson. Dawson can take a few steps. She fakes, then she sends a pass into Myers. Myers controls it low, keeps walking but behind the goal. She's got Plesha out front, tries to wrap it. Really good look. Now the U.S. has to defend a 3-on-2. It's a breakaway. Stetch trying to catch up to the play. Stetch does. Runs right through it, is chopped down. There's an injured Canadian, and they blow the whistle dead because 19 is hurt. And there's certainly no penalty. Stetch clearly won space to the ball. Retrieved it. The gal went down afterwards. She's slow to get up. Her teammates gather around her. Looks like she's probably going to be okay. She's already up on a knee. And polite applause as she goes to the bench to change. That's Corinne Balduc. And we play on at even strength here. Canada will reset. Bazicki. Knocked in by McDonald. She chops it to the wall. Good set of hands. Can she find a pass to the middle? She can. It's a 2-on-1. It's across. There's a one-timer chance. Bretzman can't quite put that on frame, and the ball goes loose behind. This is Eberhard. Eberhard. There's a ball bounced in, touched in, and they score! McDonald on the backdoor McDonald out of the air from Bretzman, and the U.S. leads 3-1, 4:40 in the first. Jillian McDonald scores on a ball out of the air. 3 goals already for the U.S., and here's Morgan Betker in some space. Betker's already got one on her broom. She wanders down to the corner. Gustafson covers her D spot. Chang on the back line as well. Madison just doing heavy lifting in front all weekend long, grinding in front, just out front of the crease, making life hard on people. Ellen tries to send that to Gustafson. Doesn't quite work out. Cheng gets it, wanders away from trouble. Cheng's going to drive one, bounces off. Plesha's going to have to tidy that one up, manages to keep it in the zone, has an easy pass to Dawson. Dawson will just hammer that in off of Cousineau. Gustafson retains possession. Gustafson sends that low. This is Ostad. Ostad sends that up to Dawson. Dawson sends a quick pass over to Cheng. Nice patient control from the U.S. There's a ball sent across. Play the game out wide now. You're up 3-1. That's sent in front. Carly tries to turn that on frame and the goalie will freeze. 3:24 in the first. How will Canada respond? Face off low in the zone. Plesha versus Vandenhoeven. Plesha retreats, facing some pressure. She's got someone coming in her jersey. Bodied off the play, no call there. Refs really swallowing their whistles at this point. Early in the tournament, that might have been a boarding call. Here's Vandelar. She touches it around to Marquis. Marquis maybe wants a backhand drive. Now comes back to her forehand and tries to pump one in, blocked by Stetch. Vandelar trying to find it. Can't quite get it on her broom with pressure from Stetch. Another blast, ripped through the crease. And here's a breakaway. Carly's in. She sent the wrister just wide. Plesha not quite to the back door yet. 2:22, Betker. Chipped in, there's McDonald up high. What a crash. Beautiful pass across. McDonald goes high and hard and the goaltender makes the save. Scramble low. Eberhard, there's a one-timer up into the netting. Eberhard putting in really good minutes for the Americans here in Game 5. 1:38 in the first half. Anybody has a defibrillator handy, they can swing by the broadcast booth. Cheng, Dawson, McDonald, Eberhard, Bretzman, Marquette, Couture. Bolduc is out there for the Canadians. She has the ball, swatted aside by Gustafson. Gustafson wandering forward. This is Dawson. Dawson will just crank it low, up 2 goals. Why not? 1:12 remaining. Bretzman will battle on the wall. She's got a pass to Gustafson. Gustafson holds, now drags, now just buried from behind. No call. Slow to get up, but she's back in the play. Cheng comes to hold the red. This touches to Dawson. Dawson wheels and sends it back. The whole Canadian team will have to change or check up, and they do. Bolduc tries to bat it past Cheng and does. Dawson on an overlap. No, Cheng can recover. Dawson swats that up to Gustafson. This is Ellen. Ellen just sending it into space. She's on a run. She'll get there first. U.S. can change behind her. Dawson's the lone D that stays while they get the personnel on. That ball's batted up. They're going to have a high broom on Taylor. Taylor will go to the box with 12.8 seconds left. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it was certainly high compared to Shalana Dawson, but I don't know that it was high compared to Taylor Myers, you know. It's tough. It's a weird rule in broom ball because it's supposedly shoulder height, but shoulder height is so different based on athletes. If they did it at the crossbar or something, maybe that evens it out. But of course, the crossbar in the American game is way too tall, so that wouldn't quite work as a rule that would translate too well. There's a shot up into the netting. Perfect situation for the Americans. They'll get a face-off outside the zone with 8.4 seconds left. 156 on the penalty on Taylor Myers. That'll take us to the half. .148 in the penalty. 12-second differential here, and the U.S. can talk it over, up 3-1. We're good. Here we go. We've got the second half underway. Bazicki falls down after the faceoff. Couture slaps that to her teammate, and Canada gains the zone, trying to set up their power play. They have 1:34 to get things going. Couture sends that across. This is Vandelar. She's dangerous. She can hit the hammer. That ball is in. Gets through, but past the goal. Just wide. There's a shot, doesn't make it through. Bazicki Tries to body into the back and not moving the ball at all. We'll see how long before we get a whistle. No, Canada comes out with it. Marquette. Ellen loses her broom and just has to play defense without it. It's too far for her to go. She picked up a broom from a teammate. Stetch without one. Stetch doesn't care. Stetch is probably happy for the challenge. Here's Vandelar dropping it down to a teammate and back to her. They want to get her shot going. That's blocked. Madison tries to bat that out and can't do it. Stetch in front trying to eat shots. Gets that one with her arm. 30 seconds left. Couture to Vandelar. Stetch just crouched like a tiger. "12 seconds and 10. Marquette with a drive through. Bounce straight up in the air. Nobody knows where the ball is. It's touchdown frame. Ellen takes it to the wall safely. She spins out of trouble. Stetch still doesn't have a broom. Stetch just trying to hold it. She gets dumped, asking for a penalty. There's no call. Rochelle takes over and chips it around. Everybody trying to get a change. That ball's hammered up and it's through. Can Taylor get there? No, it'll go for icing. It'll allow the refs to clear the broom off the ice. Wow, what a sequence. Stetch just ready to eat shots, closing the distance on defenders without a broom in her hand. The U.S. kills off the penalty. 3-1 they lead, 15-53. Taylor, Myers, Danny Gustafson, and Carly Langevin out there for the United States, with Cheng and Betker on defense. Bolduc taking the draw for the Canadians, supported by Patty Scaro and Alex Wilson. On D, Cousineau's in there grinding it forward for them. Ball is pinched and held in the wall long enough, not moving, and they call a whistle. Hard for me to see. I have a pillar in the way on that corner of the ice, so I'm kind of guessing at what's happening every time it's down in the lower left corner. Our camera has a slightly better view, and I can peek at that from time to time. Cheng sends that to Betker. That's swatted up. Carly trying to win that ball in a foot race. Alex Wilson knocks that back to her goaltender. Myers tries to close and pinch. They send it in the middle nicely. Scaro sends it up. The U.S. takes over. Quick pass. This is Plesha batting it in. This is Myers. Myers just fires it low. Myers wants a change. Marquette back for Canada to gobble it up. Under 15 to play. Dawson tries to keep it in, can't. She faces some pressure. Marquis takes over, and that ball's hit low. And there's somebody back behind, creeping in. Langevin manages to clear. Canada will have to reset. Nearly sneaked a player in behind the goaltender for a one-on-one opportunity. U.S. has to be paying attention defensively. That ball's batted low. There's an icing. Get some changes. Bazicki's on. 14:06. Well, it's been a really fun and festive weekend. We had the national anthems sung last night in stirring fashion by John DeCosmaker. We've had videography going. Drone footage of some of the games has happened. We've been selling sweatshirts and drinking Gatorade and laughing with our friends. So I think it's been a success. Nicely done there by the U.S. Nearly get another goal. Marquette. Sends that around. Vandelar tries to clear. Stetch controls and she bats it to the opposite side. Bazicki will get there. Couture pinches though. Bazicki controls. And Bazicki sends it low. This is Eberhard. Eberhard on a pass that's bounced in on the goaltender. Nice one-timer from McDonald. Stetch tries to control. U.S. has to check up and they'll get a change. Gustafsson on. Gustafsson turns the corner. Gustafsson carries it low, under 13 to play. Rochelle tries to force that ball in front. Pinched on, and now the U.S. might be caught in an odd man rush, but no, they're not. They recover defensively. They're able to set the zone up, and there's a turnover. And there's a slapper right at Madison. Madison couldn't quite tip that home. Nice play by Rochelle there to shoot that off frame. Sent forward, but turned over. There's a pass, and it's Rochelle again with a chance. Game starting to open up. Fatigue might be playing a role. Here's Cousineau on a counterattack. She's headed to open space. Betker defends. Cheng just wanders back. Touched off. There's a nice play by Madison. Helpful defense. Betker takes over. Betker slaps that ball up and nearly out and now out. Canada has to reset. Marquette takes it. She sends it to Couture. Couture with a nice move. Defended well by Dawson, and Dawson clears it. Marquette sends it forward. Dawson says no thanks at the red line. Pumps it deep. 11:38. Marquette. Marquette floats that ball over. Dawson will be the first one there. Should go for an icing. And they say no, they wave the icing off. So Dawson saucers that thing all the way around to Cheng. Cheng up the sidewall. Cheng tried to get it through traffic, can't do it. Too many Canadians there, but it's picked off by Carly. Carly against the wall. Physical play that falls to Myers. Can Myers get there? Not out. Nice move. Canadian wanders to space. Plesha defends. There's a backhand. High and hard off the wall. Marquis crashes. Cheng taps it away. Cheng defends. Ball bounces to Myers. Myers is in a breakaway. She's gone in space. She gets hauled down. There's no call. Plesha. Now it's a 2-on-2 the other way. Gonna go to Stetch. Stetch steps, has to wait for teammates. Wait for teammates. Does so, and it goes to Plesha. Plesha just dumps that thing forward. And there's 10:15 remaining in the game. McDonald on a light forecheck, now sets up the zone. That ball's up the middle. I don't think it got touched. And it will go for icing. Who needs sleep? Who needs food? When you can watch broomball. That's right. .10:05 left in the game. The U.S. leading 3-1 in the 2025 edition of the Super Series. This is Stetch. Bazicki. She's got to hook that. Can she get it past? No, it's scrambled in front. Might fall to Marquette. Marquette twisting. McDonald all over her. Nice play. Couture drives it low. Bazicki will be the first one there. She'll send it off the wall. Eberhard bats it. Conway has it for the Canadians out front. Megan bats it to the side. Canada will be the first one there. Things loosening up here as fatigue sets in and desperation takes hold. Marquis. Shots 10-2 in favor of the United States this game, and the score reflects it with 3-1. There's a chance. Nicely defended by Bretzman. Here's a hammer. Just wide. Bounced in on Megan. Now it's still scrambled in front. Can the U.S. clear? No, they can't. Canada control. Sends that in. Marquis, nobody knows where the ball is. Eberhard makes a desperate play to knock it away from Marquette. Marquette reloads. This is Victoria Conway belts that thing low. Not out. Rochelle sends that to the wall. Gustafson will take over, touches it to Stetch. Stetch should just flip this thing 30 feet in the air, and she does. Vandelar takes over. Alex Wilson. Scarrow clears it. Cheng will gobble it up. She fans on the pass. Thankfully not facing any pressure. And now she drives it through a player, and there's a scramble on the sidewall that falls Ellen's way, and Ellen dumps it perfectly. A textbook play by Ellen Rochelle to clear the zone there. Exactly what the Americans needed. And here comes Couture. She's got Vandelar behind her trailing. Can't afford to let either of them free. 7:30 left to play in the game. Got to start to wonder at about the 5-minute mark. There's a chance for Marquette. Gustafson defends. Wonder when the goaltender might come. Maybe with 5 minutes. Maybe 4.5. They'll have to talk it over. The ball frozen again. Man, they're working hard. Both teams gutting it out here in Game 5. To have some understanding of the level of fitness involved, it's kind of hard to articulate. If you're playing 5 high-level games in essentially a 30-hour period, it's a lot to ask on the body. And, boy, let me tell you, at the end of this weekend, you've known what you've done. I mean, it is unbelievable what these athletes are up to. This is Carly Langevin. She tries to set in front. Myers tries it. One-timer in front. Goalie's down, and we're going to have a penalty. A penalty on Taylor Myers. She can't believe it for colliding with the goaltender. Canada controls. Myers said something to the referee as she ran by, clearly disagrees with the call, and I don't even know what the call will be other than I'm taller than my opponent. But we'll see. I mean, that's where I wish I had instant replay. I don't have that here in the broadcast booth yet. And so, there's a slash right across the hand. The game's going to get a little out of hand here maybe. Taylor didn't like the cheap play. She gets dumped. Bazicki lays her down. We've got multiple penalties. Things getting a little undisciplined with a few minutes to go. Got to stay calm. We'll see what sorts out here. We know Myers is going in the box. She's furious about the call. We may have another American player going in the box. I'm not sure. Four-minute double minor on Taylor Myers. The double minor, she can't believe it. She's holding her head in the penalty box. The first call, she couldn't, do anything about it. It was ridiculous. The second call, she absolutely slashed the broom out of the hands. Now it's 4 minutes of a 5-on-4. Myers beside herself in the penalty box, just furious, apoplectic at the officials, and certainly on the first call may have every right to be so. Second one was a clear and obvious slash and frustration, probably in reaction to the first call and then getting dumped. 6:08, and the U.S. has made this very, very interesting. The penalty killers for the United States are Stetch, Rochelle, Bazicki, and Ostad. Vandelar. Couture. Scarrow. Couture. Couture with a drive, well wide. Bazicki controls behind and she'll just pinch. Try to kill some time here. Vandelar with a bomb, wide. Marquette takes over. Touched away by Rochelle. Skips the ball around, and here's Couture at the point. Couture to Vandelar. Got to be wary of that shot when it comes. Blocked nicely by Stetch. Cleared by Madison Ostad. U.S. will trot to the center line. The goaltender is out. Nearly scores a goal. Vandelar saves the day on that side. Empty net. 3 minutes of penalty time remaining. That's into the bench, and that'll be a face-off low for the Americans. 2:54 in the penalty. 5:02 in the game. Do they put their goaltender back in? They decide not to. Confident they can win the draw and play without the goalie. Stetch has to take this draw. She's the best athlete on the team, and it's hers to win or lose. Stetch bats that to Rochelle. Rochelle saucers that ball around. They can set up the PK here. Drifting backwards, drifting backwards. Marquette has the ball in space, sends a loose pass up there, makes it through to Scarrow, but not out, not into the zone. No, Marquis tries to carry it. She gets absolutely hammered by Stetch, and Stetch is going to the box on a penalty. With 2:29 remaining in the 4-minute double minor on Myers, we get 2 minutes for a boarding on Stetch, and the two best athletes on the American team are in the box with 4:37 left. They lead 3-1. They're doing everything they can to let the Canadians back into this. Canada takes a timeout. They have the goalie pulled. They'll be going 6-on-3. Absolute insanity in the rink right now. People are shrugging their shoulders as to what is happening. The game is physical, but the U.S. stacking the deck against itself here. Megan's going to have to come up big in net. I think if I'm picking three out there for the Americans, I'm going with Bazicki, Rochelle, and Gustafson, or Bazicki, Cheng, and Gustafson. You got to imagine Danny Gustafson and Sheila Cheng are the first steps off the bench for the Americans when they need a change. Ostad, physical and gritty. Bazicki, an absolute world beater, and Rochelle, just what to say about Ellen Rochelle. She has a motor like no other. Gustafson and Cheng would be my picks here. We'll see who comes in when they can get a shift, if they can get a shift. 2:26 in the double minor, 1:57. Batted low. The 6-on-3, they've got the goaltender out. There's a shot, blocked aside by Megan. That ball goes to the back door. Marquette couldn't handle it. 1:39 in the 6-on-3. That ball's up over Megan's head, blocked by one of the American players. Here's Vandelar. Vandelar will unload if given the chance. She saucers it down to a teammate. Vandelar. Vandelar with a hammer. Blocked by Ostad. Vandelar sends that low. Touched out to Vandelar. Vandelar back low. They're just trying to set it up for her. Here's Scarrow. Scarrow tries to hammer one. It's wide. There's the back door. Over the top. Vandelar couldn't hit the frame. 110. Scarrow to Couture. Couture wants a look at it. Tries to go far post. Ostad can clear. But there it's shipped out by Rochelle. And the whole Canadian team will have to reset. Vandelar's slow to it. And they're offsides. Now they're good. 50 seconds remain in the 6-on-3. 1:15 in the other penalty. And 3:19 in the game. There's a bomb. Blocked by Ostad. Chipped in. Batted aside by Bazicki. Scarrow wants to look at it. Set up high into the netting. 3:10 left. Face off outside the zone. Madison stands up and shakes it off out of her shoulders. Rochelle looks to the bench for some wisdom from Lori Hansky, who has plenty to give, to be fair. There's not much about the broomball game or the game of broomball that Lori Hansky doesn't know about. Just an absolute legend. Rochelle. This is Alex Wilson. Alex Wilson. 20 seconds left in the 6-on-3. Wilson. This is Marquis. Marquis with a drive. Bouncing free. That ball's batted up and in. Cousineau on the back door makes it 3-2. That puts Stetch back on the ice. 35 seconds in the 5-on-4. 2:43 in the game. And Canada not dead. Just a correction on the penalty here. Some time bled off. They're going to reset things. Should have a U.S. captain in that conversation, though. Stat should be over in their ear. What are they resetting it to? It's not 35 seconds. 35 seconds. Okay. 35 seconds left in the penalty. Huge face-off at center ice. Won by the Canadians. Couture taps that over to MJ Vandelar. This is Marquette. Batted aside by Madison. Madison battling on the wall. Just trying to get the ball out. Vandelar takes over. Madison doesn't give up. Tapped aside. Madison tries to tap that into the zone. Kept in. Vandelar has that low. This is MJ Vandelar. There's a drive. Bounced off of Madison to a teammate for the Canadians. Trying to find Vandelar. Got to step out on her. She'll shoot all day. That ball's in. Held and frozen by Megan Wenner, the goaltender. 2:04 remaining in the game, and now we are back to even strength. The U.S. doesn't have a fifth player on the ice, but they do call a timeout. The penalty has expired on the stadium clock. So, should be even strength here the rest of the way. Well, I mean, it should be even strength the rest of the way. I don't know that it will be. Canada will have their goalie empty net. U.S. wants to talk this over. They need someone who can win a draw. Every single one of these games has been an absolute barn burner. Vandenhoeven into the draw circle against Stetch. One by Stetch. Madison controls. She taps it to Bazicki. Here's Vandelar. Vandelar with under 2. They're on the man advantage because they've pulled their goalie. Couture. Couture to Vandelar. Trying to free Vandelar for the shot. Can't hear a thing in the arena. The USA chants start to fill it. Marquis to Couture to Vandelar. There's a drive off the back of the wall. Just wide. Thought for a second it was in. 1:27 to go. Somebody step out on Vandelar. Drive by Marquis, blocked aside. Can Taylor strip it out? She can go. Taylor's in a foot race. She's running as hard as she possibly can. Can she swat it in the net? She controls the ball. 58 seconds, 1 minute to go. She's got Madison. Madison spins, just dumps it low. 52 seconds. Under a minute to go. Tapped aside by Madison. Canada's got to get going. 40 seconds remain. There's a shot deep, blocked aside. Taylor can flip it in. Taylor does. And it's just wide. 30 seconds. 30 seconds to go. Here we go. Alex Wilson touches that back. Patty Scarrow hits a long bomb. That'll go for an icing. And it does. 21.2 seconds. 3-2. Americans lead. Myers nearly flipped it in for the icing on the cake. What a battle. Stetch directing traffic is going to just bat it Rochelle's way. Does. Rochelle comes up with it. 19 seconds, just pin it to the wall. They're fighting as hard as they can. Just a scrum on the right-hand side. 12 seconds and 10. 9 and 8. Here come the Canadians in their last gasp. Stepped on by Bazicki. Nice defensive play. She hits it low. Time's going to expire. 3 seconds. 2 and 1. And the Americans have won. The Americans win. The U.S. women save the sweep and take the Super Series.
And Grant's off to present the awards. So shout out to both teams and for the whole tournament, really. So thanks for all the Canadians for traveling here. Thanks for all the various sponsors. That'll pretty much put a wrap on it. We'll keep the stream running for the award ceremony, run the sponsors one more time, and turn it off. Thank you all for viewing. Really appreciate it.